Well, the war on health is alive and well. And once again, the foot soldiers are exactly who you'd expect. They're the liberal elites, the big pharma insiders, the unelected health bureaucrats, which are still pushing, experimental vaccines and high fructose corn syrup in our foods and seed oils and all the stuff that's bad for us. It's like 2021 all over again. Just this week, the FDA gave its official blessing to Novavax's new COVID-19 vaccine, the so-called non-mRNA option. It's supposed to make people feel better, right, about it. But here's what they're not telling you. This thing was only tested with 2 doses, and yet the FDA just approved 1 dose. I thought we were past this crap at the FDA. How is the FDA allowing this? And then last week, RFK Jr. testifying before Congress, liberal Democrats going on the attacking Kennedy for trying to fix school lunches, reduce autism, actually take a look at vaccines. And then he was interrupted here by the head of Ben & Jerry's ice cream. Watch.
The witness will suspend. The committee will come to order. Capitol Police are asked to remove the individuals from the hearing room. Members of the audience are reminded disruptions will not be tolerated. Members of the audience are reminded disruptions will not be permitted while the committee conducts its business. Capitol Police are asked to remove the individuals from the hearing room.
Then we learn emulsifiers in ice cream. You dive into the ingredients of Ben & Jerry's ice cream, high fructose corn syrup in almost all of their ice creams. It's amazing what these people are protesting these days. And why is it so hard to get this stuff out of our food? Well, Kim Bright knows all about battling big pharma, the toxin culture that permeates our government. She's the founder of Brightcore Nutrition, and she's been, I think, going on and pushing MAHA for 50 years before MAHA was even popular. She was, I would in many ways say, the OG. So we wanted to have Kim on the show to talk about the current state of things, her battles over the years, and what she sees for the future. Kim, welcome to the show.
Well, thanks for having me, Clayton. I appreciate it.
My pleasure. I mean, when you see everything that's been happening, and you've had a storied career, pushing to make America healthy again, and then you see RFK Jr. in front of Congress just a few weeks ago, sitting there being grilled by these people who seem like they're all paid by Big Pharma. They all have some sort of political interest in trying to stick it to him. What do you make of this now, 50 years that you've been battling this?
Well, I make of it that we finally might have a chance to actually get real food back on the table and feed our children, instead of the, plus 10,000 different chemicals that they've allowed into our food supply over the years, even though Europe's only got around 400. It gives me some hope. But what is so crazy, it's like the other day when he was being attacked by that purple-haired liberal congresswoman or senator, I can't even remember her name, but she just was coming at him and just trying to attack him. And he's had it from all sides. He finally had enough. And he's like, give me a break, would you? I've been doing this for 100 days, and yet I've got the dyes out of our food now. You've had years, 10 years, decades. What did you do? Basically, that's not the exact quotes, but that was the concept. I mean, these people, they lie, they cheat, they steal. They've got money that has been coming into them by Big Pharma. I mean, Big Pharma's got, 1 to 3 lobbyists for every congressman and congresswoman and senator. Senator. So the thing is, we've been fighting a fight. We have Americans think that they've been safe. They've, honored their government that, they wouldn't let things into our food supply if it wasn't good for us. But yet, they have. I mean, and then these liberals come in. I mean, Ben & Jerry guy, he's a socialist. He's in there. He's got all this money that he's made off of people feeding them, 1,000 calories, every little bowl of Ben and Jerry's crappy ice cream that's full of emulsifiers, stabilizers, all these chemicals that has been proven with some science now to show that it really tears down our guts and it causes all kinds of sickness. I mean, I read an article, Clayton, just not too long ago about a genetic scientist that had gut problems so badly that he couldn't even barely make it to go for a walk with his wife because he had such gut problems. And he started taking the emulsifiers out of his diet, including Ben and Jerry's ice cream. And he substituted Haagen-Dazs, which is clean. Ice cream's supposed to be cream, milk, and sugar or something like that, right? Well, right. Ben and Jerry's, when he took that out, his symptoms went away. And this guy was on drugs. And he said just taking the foods with emulsifiers out of his diet improved so much more than any other drug he'd taken or anything. So I think this is, pretty amazing. The guy's a scientist and he's having so many problems with his gut that he's been on drugs that when he takes the emulsifier, the foods containing the emulsifications and those things out of his diet, voila, he's feeling better. So these guys don't belong in our health in to do anything with our health, these guys.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm just thinking it's like, what, to hear you saying that, it's like that he had to figure this out on his own, right? That he had to take these things out of his own diet.
We lost.
Why the hell are these things why the hell are these things in our food to begin with? Emulsifiers, like, sounds like something you'd use to coat drywall with.
Well, let me just tell you something. Yeah, emulsifiers are supposed to resist the ice cream melting as fast, and they're supposed to make a smoothness, and they're supposed to, one of the emulsifiers is polysorbate 80, okay, and it controls the consistency of the ice cream, and it gives it longer shelf life as well. So these chemicals, again, these companies that are making foods for us, they're not concerned about how the effect of the food is going to be on us. All they're concerned with is how much can they make us eat and continue to buy, get us addicted to it, have it a smooth feel on our tongue so we like that, have it taste good, even though it's filled with chemicals. They don't care about our health. They care about their bottom lines, and that's really what it's all about. And RFK Jr. has a history of going after the bad guys, whether it's in environment, now after Big Pharma, all these, he's going to get these kind of people out of our food supply chain. I know it. I mean, he's already proving that. So he's got a big job to do. The swamp is deep and wide, and these guys are all a part of it. And we've got to change. Americans have to start taking some more responsibility for their own health, Clayton. They have to start reading labels. They have to become aware that we can't trust what all these foods that have been out there for decades. We have to start looking and reading and making sure that we're not feeding ourselves and our children these harmful, toxic chemicals that are in our food supply.
Yeah, but then we just saw the FDA, and I agree with you. I think he's doing an incredible job. I mean, the fact that we already gotten food dyes out, we're moving towards getting fluoride out of the water in just 100 days, and then you have this blue-haired. That's probably where all the food dyes are going, into her hair.
Is it blue or purple?
I don't know. But we just saw the FDA approve, another COVID vaccine with incomplete data. Why do you think this keeps happening? I mean, I know he's one man. He's trying to remake a department. And I know we're being told, just put your faith in the process. And we've already seen huge movement. But how does the FDA come out and then approve another freaking COVID shot with incomplete data?
Well, again, he's had 100 days in there. He's walked into a big pile of crap. Okay. I mean, it's gigantic, and it's been built up there for years and years and years with all these people, these swamp rats, these demon rats that have built this whole system, this whole machinery up. It's going to, let's give him a little break. It's going to take him a little while to get these things sorted out. And I think there are still people in there that are part and parcel of the old system that he's got to clean house. So we're going to have a little patience, Clayton. We're going to have to understand that his intention is correct. He's got the right agenda, and he's just got so many things coming at him from all sides constantly. I mean, look what they're constantly doing. Just in that hearing alone the other day shows us these people aren't there to help us. These people are there to create chaos, to have our attention go over here, go over there, go there, go there, and it's hard for our good leaders to stay focused. But that we've got to give him a little bit of a break. But I do believe that his intention is correct and his agenda is correct, and his outcome will be great for all of us. But we've got to help. We've got to be patient, and we have to be vigilant in our own health. We have to read labels. We have to ask questions. Don't go by just what your doctor says or what the food company tells you on its commercials. Come on, let's step up to the plate a little bit ourselves.
You've seen firsthand, you've been in this battle for years, you've seen firsthand how deep Big Pharma goes. How deep does their influence go inside of agencies like the FDA or the CDC?
Oh, these agencies have been bought and sold by Big Pharma for decades. I mean, they've got their agents and their lobbyists in there constantly. It's a joke to me. The FDA, is supposed to protect our food and our drug. That's our Food and Drug Agency, right? Well, for all intents and purposes, it hasn't protected food for eons. It's just been about promoting more drug use, and it's crept in over since FDA started. Rockefeller influence, and all the colleges and the universities they were funding, and people know drugs are made from petrochemicals. So this has been a huge influence for a long, long time. And if you can get people into the machinery that they have built, if you can get them to understand, oh, I have a problem, I need a drug, well, that's only going to change their symptom into another symptom. And what I've taught for 50 years, what my philosophy is, let's get at the cause. Why are you feeling this way? Why don't you have energy? Why can't you sleep? Why are you having gut issues? Why are you having heart problems? Why? What's the cause? Not to take a drug and change it into another symptom that you now need another drug. And now pretty soon, after a few years, you're on 10 different drugs. So the whole thing is, that's what their agenda is let's keep people in the machinery. Let's keep them buying the drugs. Let's keep them needing surgeries. And they make tons of money. Whereas you don't make a lot of money with my approach and with what, RFK Jr. wants to do. But he wants healthy people. We want healthy children, because America can't be great again when everybody's sick and obese and can't sleep and they're nervous and they're anxiety ridden all the time. And all it is their body's completely out of balance. And we have to start extracting out the toxins and the things that are causing the imbalance.
It's funny. You talk about these toxins in the body. I have a bunch of family friends. I have my sister, for crying out loud, who, when you eliminate certain things, eliminate these certain toxins that the government's not helping you. As you point out, you have to do it yourself. Suddenly their health improves dramatically. I mean, they're seeing a reversal of the inflammation, the eczema that's showing up all over their face. They're eliminating certain products that are just highly processed from their diets, and they're suddenly able to sleep. They're able to not have this inflammation. Their arthritis is going away. Like, this is crazy. So let's talk about the food supply more deeply here. What are the most toxic ingredients or substances that you see showing up in our food every day and that most people aren't even aware of? They have to wait. Let me just tell you this story real quick. I had a co-host when I used to work at Fox and Friends, my old co-host, and he just could not figure out, while every morning his stomach was upset. Every morning. And he finally started to eliminate certain things from his diet. And he felt amazing. He lost weight. He felt amazing. He didn't have these stomach issues anymore. But it took him having to do all this investigation because it's so hidden in our food supply. So just a kind of a personal story. And then I was just kind of shocked, actually, the other day. RFK Jr. shows up on Fox and Friends, which I was stunned by. And he's there slamming seed oils. He was going through a whole bunch of different toxins that are in our food supply. And I thought, my God, we've come a long way. But anyway, I don't want to steal your thunder. Can you go through some of the most toxic things that you see that stand out to you?
Well, I think definitely seed oils. I mean, those are in fast foods everywhere. Those are in the ultra processed foods. And thank God the light's been shown on those, because those are very disruptive to a normal function of our organs and body and our tissues. Sugar is a big culprit because it's in everything. And sugar actually is so refined and processed that it's close to cocaine. People don't even realize that. It's a drug and it is addictive. And so it's
Can I ask your thoughts on this? On sugar? We had Dr. Richard Lustig on years ago. He wrote, he's of course deep dives. He thinks that sugar is a poison. And I think he said, maybe I'm wrong about this, I think he said that when sugar hits the body, it has the same effect that rat poison does on the human body. Is that true?
Yep. It is close to cocaine. It disrupts everything in our body, and it is a drug. And we have made it normalized over the years. I mean, if you look back in the 1800s, I think people were getting 50 pounds of sugar consumption a year, and then in the 1900s it went up to, I don't know, 100 pounds, 80 pounds, something like that. Now we're up to over 160 or more pounds per year. I mean, this is incredible. We just keep pouring the sugar into our system, and it is so disruptive. I mean, have you ever watched a little child and he eats candy and ice cream and sugar? Is he calm and sitting there and able to study and, understand? No, he's running around like some mad, insane person, bouncing off the walls. Well, what caused it? It's a drug. It's a poison. And so we've normalized sugar, and because it tastes good, and people are very sensorial, they want to eat things that taste good. And actually sugar, if you stop eating it, with so many people that I helped change their diet, they were amazed at how they hated vegetables until they stopped eating sugar. They hated fruit until they stopped eating sugar because it didn't have much taste to them. Sugar destroys our taste buds. And when they stopped eating that sugar, what happened was all of a sudden the carrots were sweet. Oh my gosh, the carrots taste good. The fruits were sweet. And then when you eat sugar again after you haven't had it for a long time, you can feel a burning sensation on your tongue, Clayton. That's how powerful of a chemical it is.
I used to be addicted to, when I was at the University of Pittsburgh, I would go and get a huge 32 ounce, like Dr. Pepper or something for lunch. I was a child of the 80s, so I was definitely addicted to soda. And then I would go to class and come back to the student union and fill it up again because it was like free refills all day. So I get another, 32 ounce filled up with like Dr. Pepper or whatever it was. And then I finally got off that stuff. And a few years later, I think I tried a soda, at a party or like a barbecue or something like that. And I just felt awful. I just felt like, ugh, I don't ever want to do that again. So I've never touched it since. And it's crazy how your body just reacts to it once it, and you have that perspective. If you're drinking it every day, like JD Vance talks about, like Mountain Dew mouth, for the people that, in Appalachia, you probably don't realize it until you go off of it for a few weeks, maybe a few months, and maybe come back to it. And it just has an unbelievable effect on your body.
It's addictive, and it's putting further chemicals in our body. It's altering the whole terrain in our gut. It's altering our blood. It's making us acidic. Disease thrives in acidic blood. And so every time you take sugar in, you're making your blood more acidic. You're making your whole body more acidic, your tissues acidic. And that gives rise to all of this chronic disease. So sugar is one of the main bad things, but also the seed oils, the preservatives, the glyphosate that is in our food supply, the GMO seeds that I call them the Frankenstein. They create the Frankenstein foods. The whole thing is, let's get back to eating real food, and let's get back to raising real food. And taking care of our soils, because real food grows in healthy soil, and the soil in us is in our gut, and that's where sickness starts, and that's where health starts. So we've got to get rid of all these artificial dyes, which he's doing, the artificial colors. We've got to get back to real food. And these have been allowed in for all these years because of GRAS in the 50s, which the FDA put forth, generally recognized as safe. Well, back in the day, when they looked at foods like Well, meat and eggs and chicken, we all know those are safe, and dairy products. But when you want to add something to those, you're going to have to come to the FDA and get approval. That approval used to take 2 to 3 years. Then it lengthened out to a point where it was 7 and 8 years. And finally, they just threw up their hands and they said to the different industries, the food industries that wanted to add things, well, you figure it out. If you think it's good, that's fine. That's how we got over 10,000 different chemicals in our food supply, because they were bought off by Big Pharma. And putting that many chemicals alters the terrain of our gut. It alters our whole biosystems in our bodies. And so it makes for permanent, cogs in the wheel there on that machinery for Big Pharma, surgeries, sickness, disease, death. That's what they want.
And a permanent like hamster wheel.
Yep.
You've said before that we're being poisoned slowly. I think and I think that's such a powerful analogy. Can you explain what you mean by that? Because the way I look at it is, you're in danger if someone pulls a gun on you and shoots you. But like the little slow minor little drip, 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 that's really insidious, right?
It's very insidious. It's like water dripping on a rock. You don't realize that if it drips long enough, the rock's not going to be there anymore. Well, it's the same thing with these chemicals. And as they keep adding more and more and more, look at children's diseases. They're starting earlier, like at age 3. We got kids with cancer. This is insane. This is evil. These people should be in jail that are doing these things. They are killing people. They are killing children's chances at a good, clean life. These kids can't think right. This is devastating to America, and people have to get that. This is devastating to everybody, and it's high time we wake up. It's high time these people paid for their crimes. These are criminals that are doing this, and they should be treated as such. And I feel very strongly about this. I can't tell you how many people I helped back in the 80s that were told, go home to die. And yet when I changed their diets and gave them other things to do, and we changed their environment in their houses and got toxic things out of their whole environment, I mean, we've got stuff bombarding us every day from the air, the heavy chemicals that are in the air, in our water. We have to be vigilant, and we have to start making these people that are doing this accountable.
What was the moment for you? I mean, I know we talked about 50 years that you've been battling and trying to make America healthy again. What was like the aha moment for you back during a time when, we're all eating like Snackwell cookies and highly processed foods and all of these things in our home? And here you are kind of out on the vanguard saying, no, don't do this. Don't do this. What was that moment for you? And what kind of pushback did you get when you started this journey?
Well, let me tell you, I grew up on Twinkies. I grew up on typical American diet, the SAD diet, where it was a lot of sugar, a lot of dairy, a lot of meat, and some vegetables, some fruits. But the thing that came about for me is I was modeling and acting out in Hollywood, and I was really into alcohol. Alcoholism runs in my family, but I got into alcohol and I had a near-death experience at age 20. And I met my maker and came back and had this knowledge that my feet got placed on the road to nutrition to help myself and then help others. And that changed my life. And when that's how I feel every time, when President Trump had that first attempt on his life, man, that was like, I felt my whole life flash by me again. Because once you have had a near-death experience, and mine was in no way as severe as his, somebody's trying to kill you. I was trying to kill myself, and I didn't even know it. I had eaten all these bad things growing up. My body was addicted. I had alcoholism running in my family. My was in my DNA. And so I, by the grace of God, was able to turn my life around, and I got put on that path, and that's how I started all this. And so it's a mission for me, and it's it's not about the money. It's about real life.
No, it's amazing. It's amazing what that can do to you. We hear the term detox a lot thrown around, but most people really don't have any idea where to start. There you were, like, dealing with alcoholism. You were eating all these crappy foods. I know, just talking to family and friends, when you're you're like that extra 30 pounds on your body. You've been feeling lethargic. What does an effective detox actually look like in your storied career? Like, where would you start?
Well, before I had the near death experience, this is how addicted to sugar I was. I was working 3 jobs, plus I was over at CBS studios at night. And I had I was sleeping 4 hours a night. My breakfast was a can of almond roca candy. I drank 20 cups of coffee a day with 3 tablespoons of sugar and heavy cream in it. 20 cups. Okay. And not drinking enough water. I mean, I can go on and on. And I would have maybe one good meal a day, maybe. But the whole thing is one of the first things that I found out when I had that near death experience is I walked into a health food store in Torrance, California for the first time in my life, didn't even know they existed, picked up some magazines, started reading, and I started understanding that health starts in the gut. That is where health and sickness start. And how can I clean my gut up? And I started realizing that I needed to eat foods that contain good bacteria in it. So I started eating things like yogurts and kefir and sauerkraut and pickles. And I started juicing. I started first with fresh juices to restore, nutrition back in my body. But the whole thing here is gut health is the most important, because if you have healthy gut health, you're going to have a much better chance at having a healthy lifestyle. Now, why is that? Because we have trillions of teeming little critters in our gut. There's good bacteria, but then there's bad guys like parasites. And when you eat a lot of sugar, you got parasites. When you eat a lot of ultra processed foods, I guarantee you got parasites. Believe me, I've helped people and I've watched parasites come out of their body. It's not pretty. Gosh. Okay. Wow. And so you've got parasites, you have viruses, you have your gut is teeming with bad bacteria and molds and yeast. People that have a little bit of white on their tongue, they've got overgrowth of candida yeast. And when you eat sugar, sugar feeds these guys. These guys will give you cravings to eat more sugar. These guys will give you cravings to eat more carbohydrates, because carbohydrates turn into sugar. Most people don't chew their food. When they don't chew their food, it turns into sugar and you can't digest it right. And so these guys are prolificating in our gut, and they're the bad guys. We need to eat things that are the good guys. And that is why the health affects in our gut every single tissue, every single cell in our body, every single organ. We have a gut brain axis, we have a gut skin axis. You see people with skin conditions like you were talking about your sister or whoever that was. Well, if you've got eczema, you've got acne, you've got pimples, you've got a gut issue. If you have a foggy brain, if you can't think straight, you've got a gut issue. Serotonin, which is our happy hormone, it's a neurotransmitter also. It starts in the gut. If you've got a bad gut health, you can't make serotonin like you should. So we've got mood disorders. Everything's happening from the gut. Your gut health is the most important thing.
And it's crazy to think that we're killing off the good bacteria and replacing it with these parasites with our highly processed food diet and throwing with sugars and high fructose corn syrup. It's like we're fueling the bad gut, right? And instead of the good gut, we're putting the wrong types of gasoline in the engine.
That's right. And that's why people need to be aware that the best thing that they can do to get their gut from this disorder back into order, back into a balance, is start eating fermented foods. And after 50 years of teaching people how to eat fermented foods, the king of fermented foods that I found was something called kimchi. Kimchi is a traditional food that was originally from Korea. Now, this is teeming with friendly bacteria called probiotics. It has over 900 different strains of probiotics. And what's really interesting about kimchi is unlike any other fermented food that I have worked with or found over almost 50 years, it has these different probiotics in there that are found nowhere else. And they are like special ops forces, if you will, like the Navy SEALs and the Green Berets. They go in and get the worst bad pathogens. They seek them out. They kill them on contact. We're talking like E. coli and all kinds of other bad pathogens that I could go into. But the whole thing here is this is a superfood that people need to be eating on a daily basis because we are bombarded, as I said, from our food, from our water, and from the air that we're breathing. And we need to protect our gut health, which protects our whole health. And even obesity, it's been known, kimchi has helped people reduce their waistlines, reduce their body mass index. There's so many studies out there on that, and as well as even affecting our hair. People have their hair growing back, their thickness growing back in their hair. It affects everything. So kimchi is such a valuable food. But the problem, Clayton, is that our taste buds in America have been burnt out, and we have problems eating this healthy food because of the smell and the taste of it. So we were able to put together a product called Kimchi One in a capsule where we take the goodness and the benefits of kimchi, and through a cold processing process that we use, we're able to keep the fiber, the nutrients in there, all these friendly probiotics and the antioxidants and the live active enzymes, so people can get the benefits from this powerhouse gut food, the fermented kimchi, on an everyday basis, easily and conveniently.
No, I gotta say what you guys have done is amazing, because my wife does not like anything pickled. So she started taking it and she loves it, but she can't eat, like, she is not a big fan of like pickled stuff. But me and my kids, like, I eat like sauerkraut every day. You know, I have sauerkraut with like some meats or whatever. The kids love pickles. They love pickled stuff. So it's more likely that, you know, they're going to be able to eat some of the fermented part of that process. And so, it's remarkable what you guys have been able to do.
Yeah, that's all great. But kimchi is the only one that has these unique probiotics in them. They don't have it in the sauerkraut. It's not in the dill pickles. So this is a unique thing that is out there as this super fermented food that people should have on an everyday basis.
Why is it fermented? I mean, because my wife loves to watch these South Korean shows. I know, she's obsessed. And they eat kimchi like at every meal. They're like kimchi. Yes. We went to have Korean barbecue the other night, and like 5 different plates of kimchi things, showed up, and it was delicious, and she was able to eat all of it. She loved it. But I guess what specifically in the kimchi or the fermentation process is helping the body? Like, maybe you can talk about the science behind it. I understand the special forces pieces of it, but how did we discover that this is working?
Well, in Korea, they think it's their, that's their answer to staying healthy. And it pre-digests it's made with cabbage and salt and garlic and ginger and chilies. So, and chilies aid and abet, our metabolism. So it speeds up our metabolism too when you eat kimchi, thus helping you with the weight situation. But when you put these things together and they mix together, they start to ferment, and fermentation is the breaking down and changing of those chemical bonds. And it's actually pre-digesting that food. So it becomes now more available for our guts to enable our guts to take those nutrients in. And because it's going through this process of breaking down these chemical bonds, it now develops these good bacteria. That's what's breaking the bonds down. And so those guys go into our body and aid and abet our gut health.
Interesting. Okay. It's fascinating. So, yeah, I mean, I wasn't going to even ask you this, but is there a way people can learn more about where they can get some of these capsules? And does the FDA give you any crap about it? I mean, this is one of the things, right? The FDA will put allow all of this crap in our foods, but then they'll go after people like you. They throw their hands up and they'll allow all this crap in the food. But then when you have a product that can actually help people, they'll come after you. I mean, have you had to deal with these people?
No, because I'm not telling anything but the truth. They don't have a leg to stand on. Plus, now I don't think with RFK Jr. being in there, he wants people having this, right? No, they don't have a leg to stand on. I'm telling the truth. This is a food. I'm not creating something, and then making false claims about it. This has been proven for centuries. So no, we don't have to worry about that. But yes, I will tell you where, and I'm actually going to give your viewers a special today. If they can go, they can get 25% off if they want to go online and go to mybrightcore.com/redacted. Use that code and get 25% off. Or because I'm an educator and I've been doing this for almost 50 years, I love helping people. So I would prefer they call in and speak with a real live person, and we can make sure that this is the right thing for them. They can ask us questions. Plus, we'll give you up to 50% off if you call in, and free shipping. And if you're one of the first 100 callers, we're going to also throw in a free bottle of vitamin D3, which actually helps with your health as well. So call 888-404-6312. That's 888-404-6312, and get up to 50% off, get free shipping, and be one of the first to call, first 100 to call and get that free bottle of vitamin D3.
Oh, thank you for that. That's very kind of you. So
You're
thanks,
welcome.
everyone. We'll put a link in the description for people to take advantage of that. So thank you for that, Kim. So, Kim, I'll get you out of here on this. RFK Jr. has a big battle in front of him, and you've been fighting this battle for 50 years. Are there some dark forces that you think he's up against that we don't see, some blind spots? And, what do you think that those are? And do you think we're going to persevere in this?
I think if anybody reads the Bible, they see we persevere. We are against dark forces. This is a spiritual war, in my opinion. And we are fighting the forces of Satan. And they are around us. They are in the swamp. They are the swamp. They are the elitists. And I found out about these people back when I was very young, right after I had my near-death experience. So he is fighting that. President Trump is fighting that. All of these good people that are on President Trump's team, they know these people exist. They know what their agenda is. It's the exact opposite agenda of being healthy and thriving and having healthy kids and having a great life. Their agenda is the exact opposite. They're about death. They want to kill us off. They want to make people need surgeries so they can make more money. They want us. We're very good being serfs when you're not feeling well, when you're filled with all these chemicals, and obey the masters. No, there's dark forces out there. And I got called every crazy name in the book. I got told, people that would come to me for consultations were told by their doctors, don't listen to her. What does she know? Food's got nothing to do with what's going on with your condition right now. All kinds of crazy things. So you know what? I persevered. And people that came to me that wanted to understand this, if they said, well, did you go to school? Did you do all this? And are you, do you have an MD behind your name? And I said, no, but you know what? I'm not the right person for you. You need somebody with an MD behind their name. Down the street 3 blocks and 2 blocks over, that guy's your man, because I'm not going to deal with your problems like that. We're going to get at the actual cause. We're not going to use drugs to change it into another symptom, and we're definitely not going to use surgeries and things. Those things, don't get me wrong, have a time and a place. Everything's got a time and a place, but there are dark forces, and we have to stay vigilant, and we have to know they're there.
Yeah, for sure. Well said. Kim Bright, thank you so much. Eye-opening, and I'm gonna be eating a lot more kimchi. I'm gonna tell you that right now, and awesome. I really appreciate it, and I hope our audience does as well, because powerful, powerful stuff. Kim, great to see you. Thank you so much for this.
Thank you, Clayton. Have a blessed day.